action. Yes sir, yes sir. Give me 80 press-ups. Yes sir, yes sir. Run for 60 minutes without stopping. Yes sir, yes sir. How are you feeling out of 10? Tell me everything. Pause. Rewind. I say. What's up? Now. I say. So, good afternoon. My name is Calorie Valentine, the creator of Live2. My history. And in this video, we're going to specifically be talking about rates of perceived exertion during training. Why training just goes wrong, because people just don't know how to justify the difference between how they're feeling and the actual moment in time when they are training. So, with no further ado, shall we swipe? Let's freaking press play. Okay, so first and foremost, of course, teambodybuilding.com. Let's freaking swipe. So what is RPE? So RPE is rate of perceived exertion. So it's more like a scale of how you are feeling, yes, out of 1 to 10 during training. So 1 could be, easy, sitting on the couch. 10 can be, I'm pulling a car up a hill, or I'm dying in a freaking squat. It's all out. Whereas on the other hand, there's something called a BORG scale, which is very similar, which is just something between 6 to 20. So 6 being very easy, and 20 being all out. The difference between the BORG scale and the RPE scale, very important. The RPE is rating, just mainly on how you are feeling, how out of breath you are. Whereas on the other hand, the BORG scale is more of your heart rate. So the BORG scale, let's just say, riding up a mountain bike, and out of 6 to 20, remember 6 to 20, RPE is 1 to 10. Out of 6 to 20, I'm feeling 11. Usually, you would add another 0 to the 11. So technically, your BPM, your beats per minute, will be 110. That's what they say. They say it's round about what your heart rate would be in real time. Nothing's ever accurate, but it's just a rough estimate. So you're thinking, where is this going? So, time and time again, I'm seeing people, especially on the bench press, people failing the set. You just can't push the bench anymore, and you feel, and there's no one there to help you, and you just feel stuck. Yes, this can be very dangerous. No one's there to help you, no one's there to help spot you. You're stuck. And when I look at these things, I feel like sometimes, of course, it's a lot of this times it can be ego driven. You just didn't prep yourself properly, and you just don't know how to execute the exercise. So you end up lifting too heavy, and you just become stuck. And you see all these videos of guys, for example, just getting stuck on the bench press. I'm giving the bench press as an example because bench press is quite a dangerous exercise once you're stuck. Squats, throw it back. Hack squats, you can just let go, come off it. Smith machine, these are assisted. But when you're on the inclined bench or a flat bench and you're stuck, you're usually on your own. And what do they always say? Just don't use clips. Listen, don't use clips, you'll be fine. But you need to understand that sometimes when you're lifting and you're on a specific program, and sometimes you don't use clips and the weights are not stable, you use more energy and you're using more momentum to try and just make sure the weight is stable when you're pushing. So you end up doing less reps. The body's more focused on allowing everything to be, remember, homeostasis level. The body wants everything to be on a natural state, and when you don't use clips sometimes, it's not stable. The weights are shaking, your body's just trying to focus on making sure everything is specific. So you end up doing less reps, your body's not focused on actually, executing the, let's say, chest. Your body's not focused on executing that chest muscle properly because it's too busy trying to focus on stabilizing the body. So I always believe you need clips. You need clips regardless. I just feel like when you fail, you don't understand your RPE, or you haven't used the BORG scale properly to help elevate your fitness. And this is where it comes in. How does this, elevate my fitness, you're thinking? Let me really dive in and keep it very, very simple. Let's just say you are training. You're in your training, bench press, HIIT training, squats, dumbbell press, press-ups, whatever. And you understand how to use the RPE scale that's referenced to your training. You know how your body functions. When you're successful and able to seriously use the RPE scale, for example, you initially know, okay, I'm feeling an 8 today. So remember, RPE is 1 to 10. I'm feeling an 8 or 7, which is somewhat, quite intense. You know how to manipulate and adjust your body over time, and your body knows how to respond to certain things. So if you're thinking, okay, I've done 120 kg on the flat bench, and I feel like it's a 9 today, then you initially know, okay, I might fail. Or I always say the same thing: start light and work your way up, so you can kind of play around with RPE, because every day is going to be slightly different. We respond to different things different days. Today you might not be feeling as strong, you might have had carbs, this, that. It's called life. So play around with it and see how your body adjusts. But over time you understand, okay, my RPE of this is 9, my RPE of this is 10, I'm going to keep away from it. But I always say, work your way up, even get a spotter, so you kind of get used to where you fell. And then once you understand how your body responds to things, you know how to shift and manipulate things in certain times. Because remember, if you manipulate the RPE scale, rate of perceived exertion, times the BORG scale, that's a 6 to 20, you kind of understand, okay, the out of breathness and my heart rate, nothing's ever accurate, but you kind of correlate it into one, so you understand, okay, I'm going to do this thing, it's going to be too heavy for me, I'm not really going to attempt it. Or, okay, I might be able to push this, I might not. But when you see a lot of people fail sometimes, it can be led to more of an ego thing. It's an ego thing, or peer pressure, etc, etc. You need to zone everything out and just focus on you. It's because you don't understand how your body responds to certain stress and the intensity. The more intense, of course, the harder it's going to be on the body. Let me tell you a story. Story time? Yes, let me tell you a story, because this is actually a real life scenario. I just wish back then I would document more things so I can understand, and so you could see what I went through. Because obviously this is more ego driven. It wasn't really because I didn't know about my RP. It was more ego driven, and it's just peer pressure within yourself. Sometimes we have peer pressure within ourselves. We want to lift heavier. It's a muscular, it's a male thing. It's just how we are sometimes. So this was in 2018. I was doing incline. I'll never forget this day because it did scar me. 2018, I'm doing incline, bench press. It was coming towards the last set, and I knew that, I could possibly fail this, and nobody was there to help me, and I had clips. So I did the weight. Instead of me to put the weight back, I just said, you know what, let me do another one. So in a moment, I just did another one straight into it, and I'm trying to push it. I'm struggling. I'm literally pushing and pushing, and I'm literally trying to get it up because I'm literally feeling, and it's coming down at the same time because I'm starting to fail. Yes, my psychological mind is thinking, oh F, this thing is going to drop back on me. So I'm trying to, push, and bear in mind, people in the gym, they just watch you. People in the gym will just watch you. Sometimes nobody comes to help, they just want to see you fail. And it's quite embarrassing sometimes, but hey, we go through it. Then it's coming back on me. Then as I'm about to put it back, I think I just about get it up, but because it happens so quickly, because I have no energy, I throw it back up, obviously onto the sides, and I put one back, but I didn't put the other side equally back. So then the bar just came back and smacked me. Yes, it literally knocked me out. It smacked me on my eye. Luckily, it just missed my eye, and I had a huge, giant scar over here. This is in 2018. Like, the whole skin had ripped off. I didn't really realize at the start. I just continued training, and after, something just felt wet. I felt something on my face, and then someone in the gym told me, Kelvin, you're seriously bleeding. So I went to go and get checked out, and it's literally everything was blood. And all over here was just a giant open wound. When it's just pink, it was a giant open wound here, and it took months and months and months and months to heal, to the point where somebody thought, oh, I thought you had a tattoo there, because when I was healing, it got very dark, and it was just like a giant patch there. So people understand I have gone through it. Like, I understand. But that taught me a lesson to never do that again. That also taught me a lesson to be fully aware of the RP and the BORG scale, fully aware of how to manipulate that and add that into your routine, so you can always train safe alone. Sometimes, yes, it's better with a spotter, but if you're not able to have a spotter, sometimes it's okay to understand how your body manipulates to higher intensity bouts, and sometimes listen to your body. Yes, as you can see, I am human. A very embarrassing thing that's happened to me. But every time I look back, even when I used to do the incline bench press, it took me a while to actually go back and fully, do the incline bench press at a heavier weight, because I had that mindset, I had that psychology thinking, the weight might smack you again. Like, sometimes I still get it now, but it's controlled. The weight can always come back and smack you in the face. And it's dangerous, because if that thing had gone up a bit higher, like an inch or two, that could have hit my eye. And that could have been a whole... Oh, excuse me. That was the, I just had protein. Well, that could have been a whole nother game. As I always tell people, be careful when you train and always understand your body and listen to your body. So you're probably thinking, how can this adapt, or how do I understand the RPE or the BORG scale? So one thing I always say, either get a heart watch monitor, so you kind of understand things over time. It's almost like nutrition. You track at first and then you eyeball things. So they always say, if you don't want to use a heart monitor, you can always just put your hands lightly on your pulse, feel the pressure points. So, you know, just under your chin here, for example, on your wrist, press lightly, and just count how many beats you can, you can feel for 30 seconds, and just times it by 2, and that's just your rough estimate beats per minute. But remember, you probably wouldn't have been resting, you probably haven't just woken up, so it's not going to be accurate. It's a rough estimate. Obviously the best time to measure your BPM is when you wake up and you're fresh. That's your natural resting heart rate, because we do things during the day. You're thinking, you're stressed out, your heart rate goes up. There's so many factors, but like I said, these things are just a rough estimate. So over time you will get used to it. Like now, I know when I'm gonna fail. Like I'll be, for example, when I'm doing the squats, for example, like I know my body's limits, but what I do sometimes, I'll push it. Sometimes they call it a failed set. You push it so you can fail, so your body understands what failure is, but not to the point where I'm doing an incline, for example, like I see it everywhere, or you're doing an exercise where you're just stuck and you literally cannot move until somebody pushes you or somebody comes and helps you take the weight off. I don't ever go through that, because it's first of all, it's dangerous for you and it's dangerous for others around you. When I mean others around you, let's just say you don't have clips, for example, and you're squatting or you're doing a bench press and just the weight just flies from side to side. Because let's be honest, if you don't have much experience and you don't use clips, for example, you go heavy with just ego lift, for example, you can hurt somebody around you. Let's say somebody's racking the weight on neck that's next to you, and you just go for the lift and you're stuck, or you can't get up and you lose balance. What happens? The weight goes from left to right, it goes from side to side, and that can seriously hurt someone that's next to you. So you just got to be smart and think about the situation. That's why I always say the RPE is very, very important. And the BORG scale, I said the RPE more because it's more specific. 1 to 10, how are you feeling today? How you feeling exercise wise? I'm talking about. Oh, I feel 5. Okay, do you want to increase intensity? Do you want to decrease intensity? You can always mimic it and work with yourself over time. Okay, I want to increase intensity. I just don't feel like my heart rate's working enough. Okay, today we're going to train at a 6. Okay, today we're going to train at a 9. We're going to try and maintain the 9 for 3 weeks and then drop it down to a 4. And then we're going to take it back up to a 10 for once. And then, does that make sense? You're kind of manipulating your RPE, so you know how to, work with your own self. Because let's be honest, not everybody has the luxury of having a good spotter or having a good gym partner. We can't always have that. So sometimes you need to be independent on your own. These things will happen. So let's go out there. Let's continue to keep training safe. And of course, to continue keep being ourselves. Let's go out there. Pause.
Thank you very much.
Action. Let's go out there. Let's continue to live. And of course, let's continue to train safe. Train safe, manipulate the RPE, manipulate the BORG scale, and over time you will become better within yourself when you train. Let's go out there, let's continue to live. Let's continue to live to make history. Why? Because you and we have one space. I say this every time, we have one space and time. We have one life. Let's continue to train safe. I don't want to see you stuck. I want to see you to continue to keep elevating. Let's go swipe. Just like your life, everything is an action or a pause, but life continues to keep moving forward. So let's continue to go play.